Hi everyone, this is Vaughn at Spirit of Health and Mike, and we are here to talk to you today about the coronavirus. The coronavirus is something that obviously everybody's heard about now. It's all over the news. It's a worldwide issue, and so hopefully we can just educate you on a little bit about the coronavirus and what you can do about it. So I thought we'd first start with asking Mike here about kind of just what is the coronavirus.
Yeah, and I'm by no means no expert, but here's some stuff that we know about it today. It's a virus that emerged in Wuhan, China. And basically coronavirus, it's a type of virus, and there's a lot of different coronaviruses, but it basically is categorized under corona because it has this, corona kind of means crown. So it has this crown of, I don't know the technical thing that sticks out of the virus all around it. So if you guys are familiar with the SARS virus that came out several years ago, there was the big scare. That is a type of coronavirus, but this is a new strain that originated in Wuhan, China. I know there were, the Chinese government talks that it originally was in animal form, and then it got transmitted from animal to human. But there's a lot of speculation that there's a bioengineering lab out there run by the CDC, and that they were doing a lot of tests on things, and they've had leaks in the past. So we don't know if anything was purposely let out or anything, but a lot of the speculation is it actually got leaked out of their facility. So they've had leaks before, things got out. So anyway, this is a new virus. Obviously it hit China, and now it's been spreading quickly around the world. So
one of our goals with the video here is to just educate you about just viruses in general and what can help kind of counteract these viruses, what you can do to build your own immune system. Really, our intention is that we don't want anybody to be fearful over this virus. I mean, there's a reality that there's deaths happening, but we are going to share some statistics to show you that a lot of this is just the media blowing things out of proportion. There's definitely a lot of fear surrounding these things. I mean, I'm sure anyone watching this video can remember the fear around SARS, the swine flu, the bird flu, right? Like every year there's this new thing. And so we just want you to understand that, yes, we want to take care of our bodies, take care of our immune system. And I think it's good that it's bringing awareness that, like, what do we do to take care of ourselves? I think that part of it's great. And it's great for natural health, for people to understand, like, what can they do to naturally take care of themselves and protect themselves. But I don't think it's anything we need to be fearful about, especially when you see the statistics of who this virus is affecting. But you hear the worldwide paranoia going on over this. And so let's just bring it back down, realize that this is something new that's happened every year. Every year there's just the normal flu virus, right? Like every year, how many thousands of people get a flu? And more people actually die from the regular flu than die from these ones that create these panics, like the coronavirus. So we need to keep things in perspective. I think that's really important. Let's just have perspective on what's really going on here. But sure, let's protect our bodies. In a way, it's a way to actually just have a heightened awareness of, like, yeah, let's take care of my health and what can I do? So we're gonna start with just some basics of building and strengthening your immune system. And this is for every day. This is for any sickness, any bacterial or viral thing that comes along. And we are already selling a ton of these immune products just with what's going on right now.
Yeah, maybe let me just jump in with some of those statistics before we get into that. Because there is a lot of fear out there. And we don't think that there is a big need to be fearful. You don't have to be scared. There's a lot you can do. And like you said, a lot of people have contracted the regular flu, and a lot of people die of the regular flu. But the concern somewhat with the coronavirus is it spreads really quickly, and it's not showing up symptoms for a while, but the death rate is very low. So, and just as of a couple days ago, I was watching a video of an expert in that field, and there were no confirmed deaths of anybody from 0 to 9 years old. So that's huge. A lot of kids are not even contracting it, and kids over that are doing very well with it. The ones that are having an issue are really the elderly, 70, 80 and older, and people that smoke and have a lot of lung issues. The coronavirus attacks some enzymes, and attacks the lungs and the alveoli in the lungs. But yeah, just so you know, and I think I've heard the regular flu, the death rate on that is somewhere around, I think, 0.01%. Or maybe it's 0.1. The coronavirus is a little bit higher, but it's still pretty low, 2% to 2.3. And again, most of those are elderly or smoking. So the numbers I have of recently, if you're over 80, the death rate when contracted is 14.8%. So that's the highest. 70 to 79 is down to 8%. 60 to 69 is 3.6%. 50 to 59, 1.3%. And if you're anywhere between 10 and 49, which is the majority of people, it's a 0.2% to 0.4%. And nobody under the age of 9 has died from this virus. So again, you don't have to be scared. And we're going to talk about a lot of good solutions to build your immune system up and fight this thing off. So
yeah, amen. So we're going to talk about just some products we've been selling a lot of that we really like. I mean, let's just start with the classic of all classics, right? Vitamin C. We have a product called Beyond Vitamin C powder. The reason we call it Beyond Vitamin C is most vitamin C is ascorbic acid or synthetic, and this is the highest known sources of vitamin C in the world. And you want to take vitamin C for your immune system, but it also helps your overall glandular system, your adrenal glands. It's just good for so many different functions in the body, the strength of your connective tissues. So again, maybe this is just an awareness that I should be taking vitamin C for 20 different reasons. Yeah. But for right now, for my immune system, I'm going to ramp up my vitamin C. What I like to tell people about taking the powders, and there's a couple reasons we created some really neat formulas, is it's very cost effective, for one, to take herbal formulas. The other thing is if you want to take high dosages, to protect yourself, a teaspoon of a powdered formula is like taking 7 capsules. So who wants to take 7 capsules twice a day? Yeah. But you can take a teaspoon of this twice a day, mix it in water, mix it in a smoothie, mix it in juice, just make it super easy. So get your Beyond Vitamin C powder just for general immune health. I think that's amazing.
Yeah, and it is important that, we're all about plant-based versions and the way God created it. It's much more, it's in the form that's easily absorbable and used by the body. It's not always about the amount of vitamin C because of the ascorbic acid is a synthetic. You have to take super high amounts of ascorbic acid because only a small amount of it is even usable by the body. So you can take a lot less and it'd be more effective in a whole food form. And this has all the other antioxidants and bioflavonoids and all the other things that these berries that are really high in it have. So,
amen. So immune builder powder. I love this stuff. I recommend this all the time for people who have low immune systems and they need to kind of just ramp up their immune system. So again, this is building the immune system. And in a little bit, we're going to talk about specific things that are antiviral that you can use to go after any viral infection. So this has ashwagandha, astragalus, elderberry. I'm sure a lot of people have heard about elderberry, olive leaf, acerola berry, which is in the vitamin C powder because it's this high source of vitamin C, Siberian ginseng, and aloe vera. So this is a great formula for just, again, general immune system building. If you want to take a low dose, you can take a half a teaspoon, once or twice a day, but easily go up to a teaspoon twice a day or more to really work on strengthening and building your immune system. And again, what's nice about a formula like this is, a lot of people are just drinking their elderberry or taking their olive leaf. I mean, that's great, but why not get all these amazing immune building herbs in one formula and you can get a medicinal dosage of it.
Yeah, and actually it also has the super immune mushroom blend powder as the main ingredient on top of all those other awesome herbs.
Oh, I didn't mention that's the first ingredient. Yeah, Talk about that. Talk about these mushrooms.
Yeah, so I'm sure some of you have heard of medicinal mushrooms, and there's specific ones that have extremely powerful effects on the immune system, helping, and the technical word isn't boost the immune system, but for most people it will, but modulate the immune system. That's important because even people with autoimmune conditions can take mushrooms and it won't exacerbate their situations. It'll help to modulate that condition. But for most people, it will provide an immune boosting formula. So basically, the super immune mushroom, we've got the top 6 most researched and proven medicinal mushrooms for immune support in a very concentrated extract. So they are at a 250 to 1 extract. So they started with 250 pounds of these mushrooms and extracted all the active ingredients down to 1 pound. And then that is what we use as the base of the immune builder powder. And it also, so we also sell the Super Immune by itself in powder form in bulk, and then we do have it in capsule form. This is by Aloha Medicinals. It's called Immune Assist Critical Care Formula. This is their most concentrated immune formula. It's where we get the powder that we use in these other formulas. So very powerful to build that immune system quickly, have a strong, powerful effect.
Great. And so again, just to reiterate, to clarify, the first ingredient that's in this, we have a herbal formula called Super Immune Mushroom. That's the 250 to 1 concentrate of just the mushrooms, if you just want the straight 250 to 1 concentrate medicinal mushrooms. All right, so the last one we want to talk about just with general immune building is the Dr. Morse Immune System Tonic. And Mike's very familiar with the Dr. Morse products. I'll let you talk about this one.
Yeah, I mean, Dr. Morse has a lot of great products, but I love this one. This is his immune building formula, basically, and he combined all the traditional immune boosting herbs with medicinal mushrooms. So, and some of these we've already talked about, but in a nice liquid extract. And we like liquids because they are very absorbable. They're more concentrated. At the same time, we're huge on the powders and stuff. It's a little more full spectrum, and you might have to take a little bit more than a liquid, but both are effective. But this is nice. You can have it in your purse, carry around, shoot it throughout the day. But this combines echinacea. It's probably one of the most well-known immune boosting herbs, but astragalus, peyote arco, cat's claw, very powerful. But eleuthero, Shisanja berry, and then it's got these medicinal mushrooms, maitake, reishi, shiitake. So those are 3 medicinal mushrooms all in one liquid concentrated. He does a very strong concentrated extract with this. So that's a nice, quick, easy way to get those in.
Awesome. And cat's claw is actually a very strong known antiviral.
Yeah.
Some of these herbs like cat's claw and olive leaf and elderberry, they're well-known antivirals.
Research, documented.
Absolutely. Thousands of research studies. You might hear that natural health of these herbs aren't researched and studies. I mean, that is such bogus information if anybody tells you that. There's so many thousands of studies, it's mind-blowing if you'd actually look at the research. So let's talk about specific things people can do for any viral condition. Again, we're talking about the coronavirus, but we're not going to be fearful of the coronavirus, but we're going to talk about different things that can help you anytime you have any kind of viral condition happening. And you can take these things preventatively, but we also want to talk to you about how to take these things medicinally in ramped up dosages to maybe overcome something more quickly.
Yeah, acutely, if you're feeling those symptoms or know that you have something.
Yeah, so I thought we'd start with silver just because I love silver, and I just want to explain to you real quick is that we do not recommend colloidal silver. I used to recommend colloidal silver. I've learned, I've researched, read tons of studies and research papers. We recommend silver hydrosol. There's a difference. Colloidal silver has a larger molecule size. It can actually damage healthy bacteria in your gut, and that's the one that can accumulate in the system and cause problems if people have heard of the blue man, for example. But the hydrosol is a smaller particle size. It's flushed out through your urine or sweat because it's water soluble, and it actually is small enough to actually get into the cell, which means it can actually kick those viruses and different things out of the cell. And this company, Silver Biotics, has done tons of research studies on all different kinds of viruses over decades, and how these products are effective against really all microbes, but they've done a lot of research on the antiviral effects of the silver. Yeah. So they have a lot of different products, but I like the Health Max 30. So I'm going to just highlight this one. It's stronger. So you can get the basic Silver Biotics. Is that the immune support?
This is the regular immune support. And this is good, but the Health Max ASAP is 3 times more concentrated.
Right. So this is a 10 parts per million. This is a 30 parts per million.
Same silver, more concentrated.
Exactly. So as far as dosages with silver, I mean, on the bottle, it's going to say take a teaspoon, 2 to 3 times a day, and that's fine. But you can really ramp this up. I mean, there's research studies on taking this in high dosages to take care of malaria. And I mean, I'm talking serious issues. And so what our recommendation is if you want to increase it, is to go up to a couple of ounces 2 to 3 times a day. And so again, it's safe. It doesn't accumulate in the system. It doesn't harm beneficial bacteria. In fact, it shows that studies on silver actually show it increases your healthy bacteria, because what it does is it destroys the bad guys, it destroys the bad microbes in your gut, which actually makes room for the healthy bacteria to flourish. So their studies actually show that it increases good intestinal bacteria. So I'm a big fan of silver for that. But again, high dosages for an acute situation, flu virus, or any major sickness you're going through, you can go up to 2 ounces 2 to 3 times a day. And you can actually safely take lots more than that.
Yeah, they've tested
if you need to.
and studied it at, I don't know what they said, several hundred times that dosage, and it's still been safe.
Totally.
The other thing to mention about that is because of the, we're talking about coronavirus, and it especially affects the lungs. So one great way to get this in the system, and of course, if you're dealing with another type of flu virus or something else, and you have the respiratory, is we have the nasal sprays with the silver. But you can also, I think one of the most powerful ways to use it is to nebulize it. You can get a nebulizer pretty inexpensive, I don't know, $30, $50 on Amazon, anywhere. You can put the silver right in there, nebulize it, and breathe it directly into the lungs. Yes. It's directly, so they've also shown that it not only will kill, it's a broad spectrum killer, including viral, but it helps to repair tissue too. So nebulized into the lungs, it can also help to repair that and not cause scarring when there is infection in that area. And just so you know, I talked to the company that makes this silver, it's the one we carry that we feel like is the strongest one on the market. They have studies showing they've done it against the bubonic plague, Ebola, the previous SARS virus outbreak from a couple years ago, which is very similar to the one of today, but it is a little bit different, and it's shown completely effective at all of those, eliminated it at a very high rate. So they're pretty confident. They can't say 100%, but yeah, pretty confident it's effective for this coronavirus. They're just still doing studies on it. Obviously it's a pretty new thing, but it's been effective at all of that other stuff.
Hallelujah. So we want to make that point that the studies haven't been done necessarily on the coronavirus because it's so new, this newest strain. But knowing that these products have been researched and studied and worked against all viruses in the past, there's absolutely no reason that we won't believe that it wouldn't work against this strain as well. So again, just do these things because they work. So let's talk about the silver gel, because you learned something really interesting about using the silver gel topically. Yeah.
So in a gel form, because you can put the liquid on topically, but it's not going to stay very long. It dissipates. The silver is in a water solution, so it'll evaporate and then absorb into the skin. So in their gel form, it's going to stay on the skin longer, so it's great to disinfect the hands. This virus is spread between contact and or coughing, breathing. I mean, even a water droplet that even can hit your eyeball can get it into your system. So this is just another mention, not to get off on a tangent, but everybody's talking about the mask, and I've seen a lot of stuff, and they're saying it might help a little bit, but it's not going to protect you 100% because there's many other ways that it can get in your system. A couple other statistics just before I go back to the silver. So the coronavirus can take a while to show up symptoms. The incubation period. And so the government is talking more around a 3 to 9 day. The numbers kind of vary, but they're easily showing it's 12, even up to 24 days. So the numbers they're saying about the infected, it could be way worse. So it's good to protect yourself. And then also on contact. So on a toilet seat, on a counter, hand contact, they're saying that that virus can stay living up to 9 days in the right conditions on a surface. So anyway, just wash your hands, use stuff like this. So the silver gel can be applied topically, and it's going to last a lot longer. You can put it in your nose, especially if you're traveling on an airplane. Yep. You're around other people. Put it in your nose. It'll stay. And they said, they can say that it's 12 to up to sometimes 72 hours of protection on the skin. So it can last a long time, but it's a great way to protect yourself. Use it to rub down things if you feel like it's been contaminated. There's also things like the essential oils, like On Guard, Thieves, that you can, but the silver is extremely powerful.
Amen. Awesome. Cool. Well, let's move on. Well, since we kind of already alluded to it, let's talk about the sinus sprays real quick. You can spray silver in your nose, so we're talking about silver. So again, this is a silver hydrosol that you can spray in your nose and just clear out any gunk or infection in your nose, added protection. And then Sinuorega. This is an oregano-based product that's got sea salt, and it's got clove and sage and just a lot of different wild Mediterranean spice oils. And all those Mediterranean spice oils also have been widely researched in helping to kill all microbes, bacteria, fungus, mold, viruses. And so we really love all the products by North American Herb & Spice. This is just specifically the one that you can put in your nose to protect and clear out your sinus cavity. Because again, this is a respiratory breathed issue. So you want to protect your sinuses and you want to protect your lungs. All right. So we have, just staying with North American Herb & Spice, we'll finish a couple of their products, Oregabiotic. So it's called Oregabiotic because this is kind of your natural antibiotic. People, maybe they don't want to take antibiotics, so they say, what can I take? We'll take Oregabiotic. And this is the oregano oil with cumin oil, sage oil, bay leaf oil. Again, all these oils that are known to be effective against different types of bacteria. This is great for mold and of course, viruses. And they have actually done studies, North American Herb & Spice, at Georgetown University, where they studied their oils against so many, I mean, almost all different types of microbes. And a lot of these, even the past coronavirus, so this is what, number 19 or something?
They call it the COVID-19 coronavirus.
So there's been past coronaviruses that they've tested against at universities known to kill these viruses. So these are concentrated forms of these spice oils, and we've been using the Oregabiotic effectively for people with all kinds of colds, flus, viral conditions, sicknesses, mold issues for years. So the Oregabiotic's a great product, and we should again mention dosaging probably would help you guys. You know, you can take 2 twice a day for like a basic issue, but again, this is another one you can ramp up, and I've often encourage people to take 2 every 2 hours for an acute condition. Because again, you can safely take it, and these things, you really have to go after it. If it gets in your system, you have to aggressively go after it. You're helping your immune system is what you're doing. You're giving God's natural herbal products to help your immune system fight and overcome these things when it's overwhelmed. So go high dosage on this stuff. All right, and then last one I want to mention is Oregaresp. And this is called Oregaresp because it's a respiratory formula. It's specifically designed to get into the lungs. And this is actually North American Herb & Spice's strongest formula. What they actually do is they take these concentrated Mediterranean oils and they're drying them into a powdered form. So they're actually taking a capsule, but 1 capsule of this is like taking over 20 drops of oregano oil. And if you ever taken their straight oregano oil, whoo, it will light you up. It is powerful, powerful stuff. So I would really encourage the Oregaresp. I'm showing you the flyer because we're out of it right now, but this is an amazing, amazing respiratory, highly concentrated, their strongest formula with oregano and these other spice oils that's really going to help combat any kind of respiratory condition, and again, specifically to the coronavirus because it affects the respiratory system.
Yeah, so especially if you are a smoker, if you already have respiratory issues, I mean, this is the most powerful formula specifically for that. And don't worry, we're out of it right now, but we've got a lot on the way, so we'll be back stocked up in a few days.
Yep. What do we got left here?
So one I want to talk about, we have brought on recently a company called Cellcore Biosciences, and they have some of the most advanced products combining the botanicals and different natural compounds, but with a more scientific approach. They have their own scientists. So anyway, not to go too much into them, but they have some really amazing products. But specifically, they have a binder that is specific for viruses, radiation, and chemicals. So it's called Virad Chem Binder. Very innovative name, but this is their main product that's gonna help with viruses and retroviruses. So, and I spoke with them today actually about this and what they're recommending people do for the coronavirus. And you can take it just kind of as it recommends, just to protect yourself. So, and I mentioned about binders because your traditional binders is like clay, charcoal, they're somewhat limited, and they've worked for a long time just because that's what we've had, but they go only through the digestive tract. They absorb, they only have a limited absorbent capacity. They bind, and then it just comes out through your stools. These binders are extremely different, using a lot of specific fulvic acids, fulvic minerals, and a lot of other complicated things that I don't even know how to explain. Very technical stuff, but they get down to the cell level, can penetrate into the cell level, grab onto things. And so they have specific binders research to do different things. So they have specific combination of binders specifically to kill, bind, and remove viruses. So you can take this preventatively. So at the recommended dosage here, 2 capsules twice a day. And then if you do have acute symptoms, or you know or feel like you've been infected, you can ramp that up to 3 capsules 3 times a day is a good strong dosage. It is safe to do even beyond that, but that's a really strong dosage. So that would be one of my main ones I would also use with the immune builder and like the silver.
Yeah, totally. Cool. Good. Let's see. We also have biocidin. Yep. So Biobotanicals Research has a couple of amazing products. The Oliva Rex is specifically for viral conditions because it's the olive leaf, and the olive leaf is a very, very strong antiviral, and this is a concentrated olive leaf extract. So definitely do the Oliva Rex, especially if you've heard or read or researched about the power of olive leaf. And then they often combine these two together. So this is the Biocidin. The Biocidin is one of the most researched products, and they have tons of research studies on this, on how it's effective against, again, almost all microbes. So I've used it a lot for people with Lyme in the past. It's also a very strong antimicrobial, so fungus, mold. It actually helps break down biofilms in the body, so it's this sticky, nasty substance that builds up in people when you got mold infections and different things. But it's also a very strong antiviral. Again, it's what we call it a full range antimicrobial. That's a good term to use. It's a full range antimicrobial. All these little bad microbes that are causing a lot of fear and panic. You know, God created a lot of things that can help us fight these things. You know, all these plants naturally contain antimicrobials to protect themselves in their natural environment so that the plant can stay healthy and strong. Yeah. That's why the natural medicines work amazing. So the Biocidin along with the Oliva Rex, another great 1-2 combination.
Yeah, and I think it's a good mention on the Biocidin that it breaks down biofilms and it's multifaceted, because a lot of people are already dealing with some type of an infection in their body, and it makes you more susceptible and harder to fight off if you get, coronavirus. So the combination can be very powerful. Lastly, we brought by Buried Treasure their ACF immune response. So that stands for acute cold and flu. They designed this for an acute cold and flu situation. It's kind of like an all-in-one. I mean, I do think some of these other ones individually can be combined to be more powerful, but if you like an all-in-one approach, this has the silver that's from this brand.
Yes, same company.
It adds in elderberry and echinacea and vitamin C, usnea lichen, thyme, myrrh, golden seal, just a lot of things all in one, and it tastes terrible. But it's a concentrated liquid, gets in the system. It does its job. And we've used that with the common cold and flu with many people, and it seems to knock it out very quickly. So
people rave about it.
Sure. Yeah, so a great all-in-one option for something like this. And another just, as we're getting close to, closing this up, the COVID-19 coronavirus has been shown to dramatically impact our immune system and lower the white blood cell count. So a big thing you can do to protect yourself is the things we're talking about that can increase your immune support, So a lot of the herbs we mentioned, the medicinal mushrooms, the astragalus, ashwagandha, all that kind of stuff has been proven to increase your white blood cell count and natural killer cells to prepare yourself to fight against something like this. And then we have the powerful things that can fight directly. But just in closing, do you think, if you were to say your top 2 or 3 things, if it were you, because we have a lot of things here, we're not saying you have to take all of them, but if you were to say your top 2 or 3 things, and then maybe I can give my opinion, just kind of simplifying it down, but some people are drawn to some things more than others.
Yeah, I would say to use, what speaks to your spirit. You're going to hear these things and be like, oh, wow, I need that. But I would say to do a combination of these things, maybe like 3 of these, because again, there's a lot of good things. I would take a good immune builder formula. So I would take like the Immune System Tonic by Dr. Morse or our Immune Builder powder. So take a good immune builder formula and maybe a good dose. And then I'm a big fan of the Vired Chem Binder because most people listening to this aren't even aware of the radiation problem, the radium in our water and our drinking supplies, all the chemicals we've been exposed to, like glyphosate and herbicides and pesticides, and besides the fact that, the viral issue. So the Virad Chem Binder is going to help any human being to help detox of all these poisons that are in our world. But the fact that it works against viruses too is just, it's amazing. And every person needs these binders. I mean, what I love about binders, if it sounds confusing, they're bioactive carbon minerals. So I've done classes on how God created us out of dust of the earth, Genesis 2:7. Like, we're made out of these minerals, and there's powerful mineral compounds that can chelate and bind these poisons and pull them out of our bodies. So I love the Virad Chem Binder. I think this is going to be a hugely popular product for the future, not just for the coronavirus. So I would absolutely do that as well. And then, man, if I had to pick a third one.
It's hard to choose.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I like Biocidin. I've used it for years. I mean, I think it's very powerful, very effective. Oh, you know what? I do love that, but I would say the Orega Rest. Sorry, I just remembered. It's their strongest formula. We know these wild Mediterranean spice oils are proven to work all these microbial issues. So this is probably your heavy hitter. So you got a binder, you got your heavy hitter that goes after the infection, and then you've got an immune builder formula. That would probably be my recommendation. But do what speaks to your spirit.
Yeah, and I'm probably similar on the daily, getting the vitamin C, getting something to build the immune system. I'm an herbalist. I love the herbs, and especially in powder form. But if it's more simple to use, a liquid formula, great. But if it were me, I would just do the vitamin C powder, the immune building powder. And then, if I were to say one or two things, I would probably also say Virad Chem, just for preventative and or when you contract it. And then I think, all of these are so good. It's hard to say, but the silver, I think nebulizing it and taking it is very powerful. But I mean, all this stuff, the Oliver-X, the Biocidin, it's all good. So we got a lot of options to help you, and we're here to answer your, call our office. We've got very knowledgeable staff that can help walk you through this, give you suggestions, but there are options to protect yourself, and you don't have to be scared.
Yeah, amen. So that's the summary, is we don't want you to be fearful over this. It's going to come and go just like all the other ones have. And there are things you can do to protect your immune system. As we showed with the statistics, this is not affecting hardly anyone from the ages of 0 to 50 or even 0 to 60. So again, a lot of the propaganda out there in the media is to create fear. And I don't want to go into necessarily all the politics behind that, because I don't say I fully understand it, but there's just, let's just say, powers that be that want to spread and create fear and panic. And it's wrong. It's unfortunately what happens, and a lot of people buy into that. So hopefully this message encourages you to just evaluate what's really happening, take good preventative measures, and just trust in God's design of the human body, and know that there's things we can do to take care of this issue. All right, so God bless you. Thanks for watching, and we hope this information is helpful to you.